Tzu Chi volunteers from 9 countries care for refugees in Persevo with a winter jacket distribution. As Taiwan enters a super aging society, find out the adaptations we could make as a generation. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Marilee Shioda. Thank you for joining us. We begin today's program in Serbia, where 38 Tzu Chi volunteers from 9 different countries are continuing their distribution events for the 3rd day and have arrived at Persevo refugee camp to help. The winter jackets the volunteers passed out are to help the refugees stave off the 4 degrees Celsius weather. During the distribution, volunteers also found out more about the refugees' needs, and in these caring moments, those seeking stability from the wars are cared for and respected by Tzu Chi. From pre-dawn until morning, 38 Tzu Chi volunteers from 9 different countries took a 7-hour drive to reach the refugee camp at Persevo. To ensure the upcoming distribution runs efficiently, the jackets are sorted according to size.
It's really heartbreaking that we're strangers. We have compassion for them, no matter what country they're from. All of us are here to help them get through these difficult times.
Yeah. In this 4 degrees Celsius weather, a winter jacket is what the refugees need to keep warm. They line up in an orderly fashion, waiting for their turn.
They don't have clothes and they don't have everything from wearing. And we are thankful that your kindness of your organization that give to the refugees to wear and don't feel the cold weather.
After receiving their jackets, the refugees give the camera a thumbs up in appreciation.
The Tzu Chi organization from Taiwan came and gave us jackets for all people inside of the camp, and I'm really thankful for that.
In the camp, uncertain of their future, the refugees pass time by talking with one another or playing sports. However, Tzu Chi's compassionate care has helped bring them a bit of warmth in these wintry days.
Taiwan TG good.
Also, for caring for those in need, TIMA Singapore chapter helped 19 mentally challenged individuals associated with the movement for the intellectually disabled participated in a free dental clinic. A number of warm-up activities were held, lasting for 4 hours, leading some of the volunteers to work up a sweat. The recent event celebrates more than 10 years of cooperation.
Winnie the Pooh and Super Mario appeared together, bringing joy and happiness to the room.
Actually, when she's younger, I did not send her to dentist because she wouldn't want to go into the shop. But thank God, I know this Tzu Chi come in. So every year, I'm waiting for this day, you know.
TIMA Singapore organizes free dental clinics for the movement for the intellectually disabled every year. Prior to the start of the clinic, dentists, nurses, and volunteers participate in a 4-hour program to help these patients and their families relax a bit.
Seeing a large group of volunteers means our children won't be forgotten, and it helps us relax a bit.
Performance is actually quite time-consuming and may take more time than seeing a dentist, but there is joy behind this group who are willing to help and share today.
To make them happy is the most important thing. Previously, I was afraid to face the disabled, but as a Tzu Chi volunteer now, I never have this feeling.
TIMA has accompanied the children with mental disabilities for more than a decade, as volunteers hope that they can feel the community's love and provide the strongest support to their families.
Switching our focus to Myanmar, as the Burmese regard filial piety as the traditional virtue, Tzu Chi volunteer U Ding Tun recently held a tea ceremony in his hometown with a Taiwanese Tzu Chi volunteer, Cai Chongji, to show respect to the elderly through serving tea. They also hosted a rice donation event to encourage more people to do good deeds.
As people in Myanmar regard filial piety as a traditional virtue, Tzu Chi volunteers are serving tea for the elderly with respect and sincerity.
Respecting the elderly is also a way to carry out filial piety, so all of our Tzu Chi sisters and our team think that we should show respect to local seniors here.
Master Zheng Yan always says family duties and virtuous deeds should never be delayed. Cai Chongji, who came from Taiwan to Myanmar to establish a factory, as well as the Myanmar volunteer Wu Dintun, have kept this teaching in their minds after they were certified as Tzu Chi volunteers.
As Master Zheng Yan said, a good habit is more important than a good life. We have to work hard together.
Wu Dintun transformed himself to become a care recipient and now a Tzu Chi volunteer. He launched a rice donation event in his hometown to pass on these good deeds.
In the past, Yu Than Tun faced many difficulties planting rice seeds as he had to borrow 10 baskets of rice seeds from his neighbors. He had nothing before, but now his living condition has improved a lot.
People in our village have vowed to continuously donate some rice from their own rice vat.
As a man's strength is limited, Wu Dintun encouraged more people to walk the Bodhisattva path by carrying out the acts of giving.
Thanks to medical and technological advances, people are increasingly living longer. How to live longer along with having a healthy and happy life is becoming a concern for everyone. In 2002, the WHO began to promote the concept of active aging. However, the Taiwanese government has only recently adopted its long-term care plan 2.0. Follow along in our new series to see how this redefines aging and what will this mean for Taiwan in the future.
A prosperous society with an excellent medical and public health system is a dream come true for a generation of Taiwanese people who are now living longer and longer.
In 2014, the average lifespan was 79.84 years, and in 2015, the average person's lifespan reached 80.2 years of age, which are all record high.
Because Taiwan is aging too quickly, our average lifespan extends dramatically each year and will be an economic burden for the next generation. But a common trend around the world is to view these elders as assets and never consider a burden.
The question is how to properly activate these elders as assets, as public policy has lagged far behind. Beginning in 1993, Taiwan began to be an aging society, though in 2018, with 14% of the population being 65 or above, the country became an aged society. By 2025, with the elderly population reaching 20%, Taiwan will be a super-aged society, and by 2060, the elderly population is expected to reach 40%. The recently enacted Long-Term Care Services Act is being bolstered by the government's Long-Term Care Plan 2.0 policy, which will attempt to find the resources to avoid a collapse of the health insurance system.
From an international perspective, the more elderly people you have, there will be more spent by health insurance. But it must be done in a way that is affordable as well as sustainable for national health insurance.
I think that we should really start or intervene before people become elderly, allowing the whole community to become healthy together, which is an important direction for the whole country.
The Long-Term Care Plan 2.0 stresses active aging, allowing elders the chance to be involved long into their life. Tomi Overvainen came to Taiwan to help share the Finland experience.
We try to active these people so long we can and take care of yourself or your other things and take part of the community. And so I think it's a good thing. We should see that it's a good thing that people live long.
To learn from other countries' experience, many groups caring for elders, including Tzu Chi University of Science and Technology's continuing education program, are designing sports activities to help everyone live longer with less aches and pains.
Taiwan
is now spending a lot of resources at the end of life, such as medical care. Finland is doing a better job than Taiwan, as they are putting more resources earlier on, which is having a major effect.
Simply put, more resources earlier in life for these elderly people allow them to take better care of their body and can shorten the time that they are spent bedridden.
We are now seeing around the world, in Northern and Western European countries, that there is a national strategy by their health ministry to limit the amount of time that one is not healthy at the end of life. This is a good policy that Taiwan should try to adopt.
An aging society, however, usually accompanies the fact that there will be fewer children. The labor force will shrink, putting more pressure on caregivers. If everyone wants a happy life, we should all be concerned with an aging society and help ensure that good supporting measures and plans are in place for the next generation.
To help Syrian refugee children needing medical treatment in Jordan, 6th graders at the elementary division of Tzu Chi Senior High School went around the campus to ask people to help these Syrian children by donating funds, hoping to send them some love and help before Christmas Eve.
怀抱中的阿米尔才刚出生2个小时，却注定成为孤儿。叙利亚长久内战。
Many Syrian children are waiting for medical treatment in Jordan after fleeing a civil war in their country. These 6th graders at the elementary division of Tzu Chi Senior High School in Hualien decided to help them.
A person cannot give much, but when we gather everyone's energy, we can still give these young children who grow up with suffering a lot of warmth.
Everyone is eager to take part and hopes they can live a stable life, and also hope they can eliminate hatred from their hearts.
These students go to every class to push for the adoptions of coin banks and hope they can help more princes and princesses.
When the students knew that they would promote this adoption effort to the whole school, they became happy and split themselves into teams. Then I suddenly realized these students are in the 6th grade and they've grown up and become mature.
These handmade bags and the love raised by these 6th graders will soon be sent to Jordan ahead of Christmas Eve.
We begin the second part of our program by meeting 31-year-old Zhou Xingyi, who is the chairman of a local spinal cord rehabilitation support organization in Kaohsiung, Taiwan. It was 10 years ago that Zhou got into a car accident before her graduation ceremony. She was left paralyzed from the chest down with only minor mobility of her arms. Facing an uncertain future, Zhou knew she needed to put on a brave front to help her family move on as well.
好，3、2、1。
6 four-year students from MPTU's marketing major shoot a micro movie inside this bakery to help its promotion. One of the students even experienced what it's like to be a wheelchair user. Finally, he reaches the supermarket to make a purchase.
It's pretty tiring. My arms are tired.
These students are helping to promote this charity bakery because one of the students was moved by Zhou Xingyi, who is also the star of the micro-movie, when he worked at the organization.
She's this tiny woman, and it made me more in awe of her. I wanted to know how she overcame her adversity when it happened to her.
Zhou Xingyi's outgoing spirit was not taken away by the car accident. Before the accident happened, she was studying to be a nurse.
My mother called me a wild horse as I was often not at home.
It felt like yesterday that we stuck seaweed in our teeth to take a picture.
2 months prior to her graduation, Xingyi got into an accident and left her paralyzed from the chest down. Her arm's mobility is also very limited.
During the time when she was suffering, I was really feeling bad for her. I didn't want to contact her or her mother because I just burst into tears.
Not only did bouts of crying hit the teacher, but Xingyi and her mother as well.
I didn't want my mother to suffer anymore. I felt very disappointed in myself. I wanted them to live a happier life, so I knew if I was happy and smiled, they would too.
Xingyi then begins training to rebuild her life.
Without her back strength, she must use her arms.
The elbow injury is a result from when we are practicing moving from the bed or anywhere. We say if the elbow isn't injured, then you are not working hard enough.
The first thing she did was return to school to complete her education.
It seemed the worst if I didn't finish. I was already in my 5th year.
At 31 years of age, she's the chairman of an organization helping those with spinal cord injuries. Still free-spirited at heart, she strives to live her life to the fullest despite the limitations of her body.
Yes, I can send a message too. When you want to do something and put your heart to it, you will find a way.
As it's nearing the end of the year, this is the time when many institutions hold charity sales to help the less fortunate get through the holidays. At Fengyang Hospital, they annually hold a charity fair to benefit the poor. Among the vendors this year is a single parent, Miss Lee, selling sweet potatoes. Miss Lee has 2 young children, one of whom suffers from brain trauma. As she needs to constantly take care of her sons, Miss Lee cannot get a normal job. Thankfully, each day there are many kind-hearted people who purchase her sweet potatoes so that she can make ends meet. 4-year-old Dian Dian suffered a right brain injury 3 years ago, which affected the left side of his body.
His right brain is empty because of the impact. There are drainage pipes in there, so it affects his left side, his left eye, hand, and feet, and his mental capacity.
Dian Dian also has a brother who's in the 6th grade. The family of 3 get by from the money the mother makes by selling sweet potatoes.
He can't leave my sides because his movements are unpredictable. His brain is damaged.
As Dian Dian's condition is unstable, his mother can only keep him close by her side without the ability to find a normal job. The 3 of them have joined Fengyang Hospital's annual charity sale.
很有意义啊，可以帮助弱势的朋友啊。爱心啊，又可以背，又可以用，很好啊。
Fengyang Hospital Ministry of Health and Welfare holds a year-end charity sale each year to raise funds to help the disadvantaged and solitary seniors, all in the hopes of garnering more people's love to care for the less fortunate. Many mass-produced soaps contain ingredients that may harm the environment. Therefore, Tzu Chi branch recently held a trial class to teach people ways to make natural soap and insect repellent. The class participants not only find the class interesting, but also very practical as they learn a greener way to stay clean and safe.
At Tzu Chi branch's trial class for the community, the mothers and fathers are learning ways to make natural soap and insect repellent.
It takes effort and it is natural. I never knew that we would need to dry a natural soap for 30 to 45 days before using it. I've always thought we could use it the next day.
The instructor has been teaching about natural skin products for 7 years and hopes that this class will let people know that natural products are not only safe but also good for the environment.
We use sanitizer every day and it is a pollutant to our rivers. Therefore, we should use natural products that do not pollute our rivers or lead to human health problems.
Despite the complex steps involved, the participants learn it mindfully because they care about the health of their families.
Since my wife and my child have skin sensitivity issues, the commercial soaps are not suitable for them. Therefore, I've come to learn about ways to make natural soap.
I want my child to use this. Since I made this soap, I feel safe using it.
The class participants are taking the important step to stay clean while protecting people's health as well as the environment.
Master Zhen Yan once said, "The world is our cultivation ground. We must always remember how to create an ideal world from time, space, and people." In her book, Life Economy, Master Zhen Yan teaches us life wisdom. In Penang, Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers held a study group with this book for business people and their employees.
This study group focuses on the master's book, Life Economy. Tzu Chi volunteers share with the participants how to start a cycle of love. Through videos, everyone sees the Syrian refugee children started a new life because they received help from Tzu Chi volunteers in Turkey.
This chapter in Life Economy talks about things between people. Although we don't know each other, we still support brotherhood and allow him to have such great strength to help Syrian kids.
大爱的推动下，而让他有这么大的一股力量。
这次是我们公司第3次参与这个。
This is the third time my company holds this study group. I feel what we learn about our values and what we can give in such a short time.
短暂的时间内，我们能付出些什么？
The participants are business people or company employees. The volunteers inform them how to interact with other people harmoniously with gratitude, respect, and love.
参与了这个环境之后，就会发现。
After I came here, I realized we must listen and communicate and stay humble. This place has taught me many things.
学到很多东西。
Volunteers also seize the occasion to inspire people's love so they can create blessings for them.
Next, we meet Yu Chaowei, who lost her vision when she suffered a high fever due to an autoimmune disorder. Though she survived the sickness, her life without her vision was never the same. It was through the support of her family that Yu was able to move on with her life. She is now a teacher helping other visually impaired people learn how to use the computer. Now she's even looking to challenge herself even more by joining a marathon next year.
我们要在桌面上找东西。
Demonstrating and explaining the lesson, Yu Chaowei is teaching another visual impaired person how to use the computer.
I can see a little bit of light in my left eye, but it is not meaningful.
18 years ago, when Yu's child was yet 2, due to an autoimmune disorder, she caught an infection that left her visually impaired.
家人的支持，他们没有放弃我。
Thanks to my family's support and my own mental strength of knowing I can't bear to leave my child without a mother, I was determined to get past the infection.
把那口气给咽下来，然后就走过来了。
Not letting obstacles stand in her way, Yu is looking to join a marathon next year.
走路都是一个问题，怎么跑嘞？对不对？
Walking is already a problem. How can I possibly run? Since there's an opportunity and a safe environment to do so, why not take up the challenge? I've stepped over the hurdle and is on the second leg of my life's path.
With the goal of the charity run in mind, Yu believes as long as her heart is unblocked, the road is endless. To help raise funds for Syrian refugees, Tzu Chi volunteers at the MP Liaison Office in Tainan made glutinous rice dumplings as part of the charity sales, in hopes residents can warm their stomachs as well as care for those suffering in a far-off country. We will leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.